It is now my pleasure to introduce Leticia Van de Putte. Senator Leticia San Miguel Van de Putte is a practicing pharmacist and proudly represented the people of San Antonio at the Texas legislature since 1991. Senator Van de Putte currently represents Texas Senate District 26, which includes a large portion of San Antonio and Bexar County. On March 4th, 2014, she was elected the Democratic candidate for Texas Lieutenant Governor. Leticia is a strong advocate for children, active duty military, veterans and their families, quality public education, and the economic development of Texas. She has consistently authored and sponsored bills to assist small businesses in securing opportunities. Leticia Van de Putte has served on the Senate Veterans Affairs and Military Installations Committees since 1999 and is chair since 2003. She is also a member of the Senate Committees on Business and Commerce, State Affairs, and Education. From 2006 to 2007, Leticia served as president of the National Conference of State Legislators in 2003 and 2005. She was president of the National Hispanic Caucus of State Legislators. She's an active member of the National Assessment Governing Board and the American Legacy Foundation Board. On January 8th, 2013, she was unanimously elected by her colleagues to serve as President Pro Tem of the Texas Senate 83rd Regular Session. On May 4th, 2013, she was sworn in as governor for a day. After the 2013 legislative session, she was named to Texas Monthly's 10 Best Legislators list. Leticia and her husband of 36 years, Pete Van de Putte, are blessed with 6 wonderful children: Nicole, Vanessa, Henry, Gregory, Isabella, and Paul. And they are also the proud grandparents of 6 nearly perfect grandchildren: Julian, Jovi, Marlo, Elliot, Asher, and Rex, who became an angel on May 7, 2013. Please join me in welcoming Leticia Van de Putte.
It is so wonderful to be here with you today, with educators, with our future. I know a lot of people will say that it's our children that are our future. But you see, you are intertwined. You are so connected. You can't talk about the future of this great state or our nation and not mention in the same sentence our teachers. You are our future. You know, what do you think of Wendy Davis, my sister? Isn't she great? Let me tell you, I got to the Senate in 1999 and was able in my now 23-year career as a legislator to be on the Senate Ed Committee. And when Wendy Davis first got to the Senate, I mean, it was quite a surprise because they told her, oh, you're not going to get there, right? Because she knocked off in a really Republican seat, an incumbent. And her main goal was education. So I watched her, as she was a member of the Senate Ed Committee, delve into those issues. Now, I had a little bit of head start. And if anybody can figure out school finance, they ought to be given A's for the rest of their life. If you can figure out Chapter 37 of the Education Code, you ought to be able to have A's for the rest of your life. But I watched my sister, Wendy Davis, delve into those very complex issues. And her quick mind, her love of education, but it was her understanding that if we don't get education right, nothing else really matters. She knew that. And so she was a great member of Education Committee. And she was committed. She didn't care if folks said, oh, don't embarrass the Senate or the legislature by filibustering and trying to get money. Don't embarrass us. I watched her say, it's not about embarrassment or making you look bad. It's about doing the right thing, and I'm going to use my voice to make sure that they don't cut our education budget. Her first filibuster was for our school children. And when they got mad at that, they removed her from the education committee. 'Cause what? She made them look bad. Guess what happened? She went to every meeting anyway. Those of you that know and follow, and you've got great leadership in Austin, Wendy Davis was at every Senate Education Committee, even though they tried to remove her and silence her. She was there, she was asking questions, she was filing bills. That's the type of governor Wendy Davis would be. It doesn't matter if they try to exclude her. She's going to do the right thing. So you need to know how absolutely fabulous Wendy Davis is. She was there even when she didn't have to be, but because she wanted to be, and she knew that it was about our school children. So thank you very, very much. And Wendy, let me tell you, I look forward to the day when we've got somebody that really understands that it is about our public education system. So I'm going to talk a little bit about educators, and forgive me if I brag. I'm a daughter of a retired teacher. My mom, Belle, was a choir director, a music teacher, and then a school administrator in charge of so much of the cultural music at a time when, it was very, very difficult to start those cultural arts programs. I'm the sister of a saint. My sister Annabelle, 31 years, kindergarten. Who does that? I mean, I'm lame compared to my sister. And I said, sister, don't you just get home and you're just exhausted? And she said, they're only 5 years old. Now she said, I really want you to take care of class sizes. She said, because with those budget cuts, taking away her support personnel, diminish the time that she could spend with our most precious little ones. And we know that the data says you have strong pre-K, you have strong quality early childhood education. It sets a child up for success all through the entire education system. And I have to set the record straight. I married Pete Van de Putte, the cutest band director you have ever seen. Now, my mama introduced him to me. Pete Van de Putte was Mr. Van de Putte, Mama's friend. And since it's political time, and a lot of people like to take issue with personal stories, I want to set the record straight. So on my resume, it will tell you that I graduated 1973 from Thomas Jefferson High School, San Antonio. I know, I got my San Antonio folks here. And you'll also see that Pete Van de Putte was at Thomas Jefferson High School in 1973. I graduated in May. He didn't get there till the fall, y'all. He didn't get there till the fall. So I want to set that straight before anybody starts saying anything. But I met Pete as my mother introduced me to him. He was a cute little practice teacher. We didn't date for about 6 years because he was Mr. Van de Putte, Mom's friend. But they were both music educators, and I saw them collaborate together to form this state's first high school mariachi program that now has over 2,000 school districts in the country with mariachi education. But my mom and Pete aren't the only reasons that I'm here today. I'm here today because I have the utmost respect for teachers and the utmost respect for this organization. This organization has been known for its strong leadership, not just at the Capitol, but in all areas of our state where they've got great membership. Now, I have to tell you, I'm very proud of the group in San Antonio. And every year, you've got great leadership. So I want to congratulate Ginger and the entire board, the team this year. What a great year you had, and I look forward to Richard next year, my own guy from Bernie, coming in and having a great year. You do know we have in common that San Antonio Spurs love, right? Ask him about the rings. it's about winning. And whether it's the San Antonio Spurs that want to get to the next level, whether it's about our state that knows we've got to get to the next level, whether it's about valuing our teachers that we need to get to the next level, we know that you need people in Austin who understand what's happening at the classroom level, what's happening in our schools. And I know, just from personal, that I really couldn't be here before you today had it not been for my teachers. Mrs. Williams, my second grade teacher, who understood that sometimes my sentence construction was all wrong because I was a Spanish speaker. And apparently, I still put the verbs in the wrong place. My staff catches me, but I think it sounds correct. And a lot of times I'm thinking in that. And she understood that in a time in the very early 60s when children were not allowed to even speak Spanish and were punished if they were caught in the playground or in the classroom of speaking Spanish. I had teachers like Mrs. Utes in third grade who drilled upon us fractions and math. That love of math and understanding that I may not be all that great with English, but the language of math I could master. And so while I knew that I wasn't as good at the English language arts, she made me feel like I was a winner because I could do math. And that was very special. My fourth grade teacher, Miss Messmer, who combined the two, who understood that I could do the numbers part, but she tried to put it in a framework of a question in words that then I could work out in math. She understood way before bilingual education programs how to connect a student's mind, how to have that love of learning. And on to what was called back then junior high with Ms. Acuna and Ms. Grimm. And our vice principal, Mr. Pope, who always knew that he had to keep Leticia San Miguel very busy or else she would get in trouble. My high school teachers, Mr. Bender, Mr. Miles, Riojas, Miss Whidden, they challenged me like nobody had ever challenged me before. And if you ask me today, still, what was your toughest year? It was my senior year. You see, I was challenged at every single point in the curriculum and by my teachers. Somehow they knew that I wanted to be a pharmacist, and they knew that the best way to prepare me was to keep pushing me forward. And so it was tougher. In fact, their tough curriculum back then was tougher actually than my first 2 years of college. Now, how many times have you heard students say that? But we know that we can replicate that with more early college programs, with our dual credit and our AP programs. We know that that rigor needs to be there. So I lived my dream, the dreams that my parents had for me, and the prayers of my grandmothers who were born in Mexico, because I became a pharmacist. That was my dream. You know why I support teachers? It's because you understand that your students can't be boxed in, and their dreams can't be confined to just a zip code. And where they live determines what they're going to be in life, what they're going to achieve. You know that. We know that the best teachers are needed sometimes in the hard-to-staff campuses and in those hard-to-staff classes. Your organization understands this. And what you need is people in Austin, Texas that understands you're there, listen to you, and then implement the policy and the program that helps you get our students to and through our graduation and be successful. That's what you deserve, folks.